Hi guys, so today I'm going to be looking at mainly the MontBlanc Heritage Rouge et Noir pen. It's the Metamorphosis edition. Um, I bought two of these about 2 years ago, and I ended up getting the spider one and the snake one. So putting the snake one aside, because I do want to talk a lot about the fountain pens that I have. Um, these are quite interesting pens, and these pens are probably the main reason why I began collecting fountain pens. There'll be a whole video as to how I got involved in this wonderful hobby in the first place, but it all began at Bicester Village at the MontBlanc boutique, and I never thought I was going to come out with a MontBlanc pen, let alone two, including the spider and the snake variant of the Rouge et Noir Heritage Collection. Um, but given that I'm particularly interested in fountain pens, I want to take the opportunity to talk about this black, beautiful Mont Blanc pen. And it's a very classic design. I don't know if it will pick up very well, but you will see the classic Mont Blanc logo on the cap of this pen. And one of the thing that caught me the most really was the spider design at the top of the cap. Um, you do have the Mont Blanc logo at the top, which I find quite interesting in this color that they have, with the six peaks. I purchased this pen with the Midnight Blue ink. I originally wanted to get black, just bog standard black ink, but they didn't have that available, so I got it in the next best available thing, which was in the Midnight Blue. I absolutely love the feel and the quality of this ink, along with just the design of the case itself. But yeah, going back to some of the more interesting features of the pen, it's quite small. It's not thick or stubby. That's sometimes some of the things that I prefer in my pens, but honestly, it's such an elegant pen, very sleek and slender. I can't fault them for the design at all. I mean, it is a Mont Blanc pen after all. Just looking at the way that you have a spider in the middle of the cap, and around the rim, the design elements taken from that spider constructing a web. As far as I remember, when I was at the store, the salesman did a fantastic job just talking about what these pens represent as part of the heritage collection, being that the spider and the snake, they are very interesting animals where they adapt to the surroundings, and I think it's trying to represent adapting your writing style in view of these animals. So that just caught me, and I came out with two of these pens, like 800-900 pounds gone just like that. Didn't expect that to happen, but it is a beautiful pen. One of the things that I love the most about with this pen is the nib. If I could get that to focus, if you can see carefully, this is one of the most interesting things about the pen. They represent the spider literally within the body of the nib itself. If you can see, it might be quite difficult, but I have inked this pen up quite a fair few times, so I appreciate it's not the most cleanest view of the nib, but honestly, I just love the fact that they have etched a spider in the metalwork. This is a piston filling pen, and it's one of the first piston filling pens that I own, and I'm just going to show you how to ink it up. I think fairly bog standard. So I'm taking off the cap and dip enough of it in, and then just a few delicate twists to get enough of the ink. This is one of the best parts about fountain pens, just inking it up with something and getting it to write. I got this in a medium nib, so that's all inked up. I don't know if you can see it, but every time I dip this pen in the ink to draw it up, I find that the spider outline comes out a bit more with the ink. but it probably does need a bit of a clean for me to represent it better. So I'll just get back and do that quickly. Okay, that's all done. So you just faintly you might be able to see the outline coming up in the blue ink once I've drawn up some ink. Now it does have a nice metal finish here. So I'm going to start writing, showing you some examples of how it writes once I close up the ink. Oops. Okay. So put that to the side. And in comparison to a lot of my other fountain pen, hats off to MontBlanc, this thing just glides across the paper. It completely glides across the paper. I have never had any problems with this. It never skips. It just writes so elegantly across any type of paper, really. I use this pen mainly to write letters or to sign important documents. I don't see it as a pen that I use for daily writing, really. I plan to use this as like a heirloom piece, really, and this is what the guy tried to sell me the story of when it came to him purchasing his first fountain pens, in particular with the MontBlanc. I mean, they do hold a very special meaning. It just glides across the paper so seamlessly, no scratching, nothing at all. I mean, I haven't got a bad thing to say about this pen. I have used this for 2 years. I think there might be one gripe I do have, and it's just I never feel that I've drawn enough ink in through to the piston, because every time I start to take a break from using this pen, give it 2 weeks, it does dry up. It's not something that I'm expecting from when it comes to a MontBlanc pen. I would have assumed that the ink wouldn't dry up inside the nib or the feed, but it is one thing I have to make a conscious effort just to think about trying to use it a lot more often once it's inked up, because it does sometimes dry up quite quickly and a lot sooner than expected. I am terrified of any cleaning processes involved in this pen because I do not want to dismantle the piston. I probably wouldn't even want to do that with such an expensive and such a beautiful looking pen. It feels very nice on the hands, given it's a bit of a smaller pen. It is very light. The cap, it doesn't post. There are some issues. If you are someone that likes to write with your cap posted, I wouldn't recommend it. It's not very sturdy at all. It's probably one of these pens which is best left writing with the cap off. If you try to twist the cap, it will eventually start affecting the piston filling mechanism. So I would rather, if anyone was to buy this pen, just write without the cap posted. It's not very deep, and you know, it may fall and may damage the pen. But yeah, I mean, hands down, this is one of the most amazing nibs I've used. Just glides across the paper, absolutely fantastic. It's a very nice piece of art as well, just with all the design elements incorporated with the spider theme as well. It does come in other variants, but I thought I'd go for a classic black version. There are some orange ones and some with the whole spider web etched around the barrel as well. So this was one of the first MontBlanc pens, and at some point I will be doing a video talking about how the whole story behind me going into the boutique. But since I'm here, I am going to showcase the brown version, the snake variant. I just had to pick this one up. I kind of kicking myself in the teeth for not getting it in a fountain pen version, but this is I believe it's a ballpoint variant. I can't really get my head around the two. There's not much to say. I mean, it's just your bog standard ballpoint, but it looks stunning with the gold metal work for the snake, and it loops around, the tail loops around the cap. and I just wonder if it can be focused. But you can see two garnet or ruby jewels to represent the snake's eyes. That's quite cool. That caught me massively. In hindsight, I really do wished I got this as a fountain pen. I don't mind ballpoints or roller balls, to be fair, but I think each to their own. But I prefer writing in fountain pen because it just feels so much more fluid, much more enjoyable, and you have the luxury of switching out the inks as much as you like. I guess with a ballpoint, this is just a great design piece. I typically tend to wear it on a suit um, for the extra bling effect with the snake. It is a conversation piece, and it mainly does stay as a conversation piece, really, because it just looks stunning. But yeah, in hindsight, definitely wished I got this as a fountain pen. The design elements are the same. You can't uncap it, so it is all twisted. If you want to withdraw or retract the tip of the pen, it's just a delicate twisting motion. But again, you can see the classic logo a bit more clearly. It's etched in white, along with the 6 peaks up here. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It's just a brief showcase of these two very interesting limited edition pens. As far as I know, they might still be selling them from the MontBlanc boutique at Bicester Village, but again, I'm not here to, they're not sponsoring me or anything like that. But I got these at a fairly good price. These are definitely great to have in the collection. They write amazingly well. And yeah, I hope you like and subscribe for what's coming next. Thank you very much.